We are preparing for Therapy Thursday, our weekly broadcast on mental health topics. Therapy Thursday is brought to you by Affinity Counseling Services and A Lovely Pause. This is a test.
Affinity Counseling Services is located in Pickett, Arkansas, and Kennett, Missouri. We currently have 4 therapists in our office and are taking new clients. To join our sign-up form, visit counselingwithaffinity.com, and to find out more, you can call me, Kindred, at 870-324-5122 or 573-840-0440. Thank you.
A Lovely Pause is a local nonprofit created to provide community education, awareness, coping skills, and support for people with PTSD and other trauma-related disorders. This month, subscribers to our newsletter will receive a free Parenting Pause checklist. Use this tool to help determine what you're feeling and what type of parenting pause you need to take. Use this checklist to help you find ways to ground yourself and be a great example of emotional maturity for your kids. Sign up at alovelypause.com or visit us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube.
This is a test. Therapy Thursday normalizes discussing mental health topics in a safe, supportive environment because not being normal is normal.
This is Matthew Yount with Affinity Counseling Services. We are coming to you live today for Therapy Thursday, and it's a special Therapy Thursday.
Yeah.
It's, what is it, Bring Your Kids to Work Day?
It is Bring Your Kids to Work Day today. And then our topic for today is raising independent people. So we brought some of our independent children to work today.
Oh, cool.
Or in the process of becoming independent.
Is that how he got here?
What? Is that how he got here?
No, yeah, you brought him.
I did bring him.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I said in the process of becoming independent. They're the ones that are still at home doing most of the things, still learning how to be independent.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we might as well introduce everyone. My name is Matthew Yount. I am the president of here at Affinity Counseling. To my right is the hairball. If we look at you on the monitor, you just do look like a big ball of hair.
I do.
This is Jack. Jack is our son.
Talking to the mic.
Hello.
And Jack is our representative of an independent child because he is probably one of the most independent children that I've ever met. He keeps himself entertained. What are you doing?
He's making a lot of noise.
There you go. Thank you. All right. Well, and so go ahead and introduce yourself, Andrea.
All right, I'm Andrea Yount. I am the vice president here at Affinity and the chair of the board for A Lovely Pause.
And I'm Stacy. I am a marketing director at Affinity Counseling, and I am also vice chair at A Lovely Pause.
And I am behind the camera as always, Kindred. I am the office manager of Affinity and the secretary of the board for A Lovely Pause.
And I'm here too.
Yeah, you can speak into the microphone.
And I'm here too.
And who are you?
Yo mama.
Thank you, Maddox.
That was our other working on being independent child,
yes.
Maddox. He's behind the scenes with Kindred because he really likes working with, he already knows how to do some of that stuff, so he's learning a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, like a live stream and
Yeah. He already works with OBS. He's learning a little bit more about it today.
Yeah, he's going to be going to Animator Camp here this summer. He's totally not looking forward to it because he's antisocial, but he's going anyway. It's on Zoom, so it's not like we're hurting him or anything. He doesn't have to go do it like a campground or something. He actually just gets to do it on Zoom for 2 hours a day in his room. So helping him be more independent with his
I do not like people, so.
I understand why you don't like people, and there's a lot of people that don't like people. I like helping people, but I don't always like people myself, so I get where you're coming from. We're a whole group of people who don't like people.
But we like to help them.
Yes.
We might not like you, but we'll help you anyway. We're kidding, though. We do like you.
We do like you.
We do like you. Yeah.
Just you, nobody else.
You know who you are.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We're gonna continue on. I guess it's the last week of our
Yes.
conversation on parenting.
Next week is, or next month is Mental Health Awareness and Trauma Awareness Month.
Okay.
So our topic is Mental Health May. So we're going to be talking about general mental health topics, and I think that's a good thing to get back to because sometimes we get so far off on these specific things that we forget to cover some of the more basic topics of mental health.
Okay. So we'll be starting that for May, but for today we are talking about raising independent children. And that's been a goal of yours and mine for about 10 years now or so. I mean, ever since we've had kids, but specifically when we started doing with the idea of wanting to do homeschool. Yeah, so why did you come up with that idea?
There were a lot of reasons why we decided to homeschool. A lot. There was a lot of reasons. One of the fact was that, sometimes kids have a harder time at that younger age of being able to, what I call fitting inside that box of being able to sit still, being able to pay attention, be able to focus on what they're doing. It's a little bit harder for some kids. And one of our kids was like that and was having a lot of trouble in school. And then that was one factor. Another factor was that I just knew that there were certain things that I wanted my kids to learn that I knew that they wouldn't get going to a public school. Like the more hands-on things. You could feel free to chime in because you may help make the decision.
Well, I mean, you presented it to me. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know. I think this is crazy, but if you really want to do it, then
Well,
I'll support you.
I had up until we got married, I was actually up until a little bit before we got married, I had actually been working in childcare for 6 years. And working in childcare is so rewarding. I have so many kids that I look now and I see how old they are and they're married and they have their own families, and it makes me feel super old, but also super proud of other people's kids that I had a little bit of a hand in helping, and taking care of them. And just a little bit, but even that, just looking at someone, it's just like, I'm so proud of you and who you are today, of these kids that, I might have known for a very small part of their life. At the same time, as much as I enjoyed that, having kids of my own, and especially when I started having more kids, I realized that, my kids weren't getting a lot of that time and that one-on-one attention that I was giving to other people's kids. And so I really wanted to be able to do that with my kids while they were still little and be able to give them some of that, especially the older ones, some of that time that they maybe didn't get with me when I was working full time. And so not working, I just wanted to have my kids with me, teach them some things that I knew they may not have the opportunity to be able to be taught in a traditional setting, and to be able to give that one-on-one attention or help them learn in the way that they needed to learn to make it not so difficult for them.
Yeah. And that and Jack was throwing chairs at preschool teachers.
That is also a thing. I guess that's probably what you were waiting on me to say. Jack had asthma, and asthma creates some anger issues sometimes. And
So does anger.
Jack punched his preschool teacher, sorry, Miss Andrea, and threw a chair at his speech therapist, sorry, Miss Lara.
You had it coming.
He was 3. It was
Threw a chair when he was 3. How strong is he now?
he was 3.
He used his preschool anger and rage.
He did.
Look, you've worked in preschools. You know how it is. I think we all have at some point in some way, shape, or form
I have
over here.
not.
Well, no, you haven't even been to one. But we noticed that kids often in preschool have a hard time controlling their temper. And I have been attacked more in preschool than I ever was working in a prison. and a lot more violently, too. Headbutts, biting, clawing.
Those wooden blocks are rough, man.
They are.
Yeah.
And those kids got aim.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's surprising how well they can throw
really
things. I know Jack's not the only one to ever throw a chair, because I've had plenty thrown at me, because I always got to go deal with the difficult kids. And I'd turn around and there'd be a chair flying at me, and I have to grab it out of midair and be like, all right, stop it. So, yeah, we knew that maybe, at least at that point in his life, school wasn't best for him. And it wasn't really best for some of our other kids either, who were having learning troubles. But our girls have decided to go back. But Jack, on the other hand, is like, what's your thought on it, Jack? What is it about you in school that's just like, no, I really don't want to do that?
Well, I'm scared they won't let me sit in chairs because of my past experiences.
They'll take away your chair privilege.
You're gonna have to sit on the floor.
I'll be like sitting on a
You
mat
gotta
or something.
pretend.
around.
Pretend you have a chair. They'll give you a yoga ball. That's nice and soft if you throw
Yeah,
it.
they'll still be scared I'll throw it though.
You have to squat, pretend you're sitting on a chair.
Just all day long.
That's actually what I'm doing right now.
Chair pose. All day.
So, besides the chair issue, what's the other reason you just feel like school's not right for you? You can say I don't like people. We did earlier.
Well, it's not really that I'm scared of. Oh my gosh, I gotta make out with this thing. It's not really that I'm scared of the people. It's, I don't know, boring. I don't feel like sitting down all day doing nothing.
I'm not arguing with you on that one. It is boring most of the time.
Yeah, and you're a very active child, so tell them what that means for you. If you had to sit in a chair all day, what you would miss out on that you normally get to do.
Everything.
Yeah, like what are some of the hobbies or things that you keep yourself involved in? Because we just set things up for you or provide the things that you want, but you keep yourself pretty darn busy. So what are some of the things that you do kind of as an independent person, that just things you enjoy?
Well, I guess playing guitar, I spend a lot of time doing that. I'm close.
Yes, and okay, yeah, you're getting really good at it. You're self-taught. I mean, we've had nobody actually like come over and teach you professionally. You've done all of that yourself, through YouTube videos or just picking it up by ear. Yep. So you do that. What else do you see yourself doing?
I guess I hunt a lot. And
You do that.
That takes a lot of time.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time out in our woods. You just get up, you get yourself up early in the morning and just go turkey hunting or deer hunting, whatever season it is. You've got something that you're out there doing and you're tracking, and then you do work for Jeff, working on cars, and trying to learn how to do body work. Sometimes on the farm. So there's just a multitude of things that you get to do, but we still do schooling. It's just that you don't have to do as much of it, because our goal with you is like you have no desire to go to college, right? No. And there's plenty of things for you to do, especially around here with all the different family operations and businesses that we have, or maybe just starting your own thing. There's plenty of things that you can do. But so if you're like, I don't really want to go to college, and I really don't want to be around a lot of people, and I don't want to sit in a desk all day, there's not really a point in sending you to school. But that is teaching you to be more of an independent person.
Well,
Talk about making out with a mic.
right? Hang on.
Your mic is a little aggressive.
I was not consenting there, microphone.
Her mic is a little tipsy, is what it is.
You need to calm down. Jack, you're learning like a lot of trades right now. So like you're actually, by the time you graduate high school, are probably going to have a lot of practical experiences that would actually like lend themselves to like people that are getting out of high school and decide to go the trade route. You're actually going to be ahead of the curve because you've been doing it since, how old are you now, Jack?
14.
14. Good golly. So already like skills and like knowing how to fix cars up and like how different parts of it run, knowing how to do different aspects on the farm and like how to operate heavy machinery and probably tinker and work on stuff because you're a tinkerer, right?
Yeah, Jack really is. He's one of the ones we don't have to push too much. He forgets about his chores sometimes, but that's only because he's actually doing other stuff for other people. He's the one that's most responsible. If we make a list or ask him to do something, he typically gets it done. So he's a self-starter. He's a good hard worker. There'll be no shortage of work around here for him. And if he's not wanting to go into a profession that requires a degree, there's no reason to get one.
Sure.
You know, our other two are girls. They have professions they want to do that require degrees, so they're going to go to college, and one's already there. Now Maddox, on the other hand, while Maddox would like to stay home, he's going to school next year.
Yes, he is.
I hate you guys.
Yes, I know you do. But do you know why we're sending you to school?
Because you're a loser.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we're sending you to school for a few different reasons. One, you are probably going to end up doing something that needs trade school or a degree. And two, you're really good with people. You just are scared to try things around people.
Yes.
So we want to get you more used to the idea of being around people your own age and doing things around people your age so that you can learn it's not that scary.
Yeah, and that's part of like, you know, figuring out your kid, because like Jack, he's an introverted person. He has very good social skills. He can carry on an adult conversation. He doesn't have that need to be in that situation if he doesn't want to. Maddox also very good at having adult conversations when he wants to, but he gets so nervous and so afraid that to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing in front of people that he needs that. He's actually extroverted. He needs to be around people and he likes being around people, and so he actually needs that push to be able to step outside his comfort zone.
Yeah, get those experiences and make those connections and see how cool it is. Like when you get out there with the different people that are interested in things like you are. I'm curious. I guess this is kind of goes with it, but the other day you had a friend come over that was interested in similar things. My friend Kelly's boy, Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys like have a lot in common?
I just showed him a game that I played. That's it.
Yeah, the shit, but it was like a game that not a lot of people know about.
Yeah.
It was
he
pretty
knew about
random,
it.
yeah, and he knew about it, and so it was like they clicked on that level. They both knew Parappa the Rappa,
Yeah.
and that's not something that a lot of kids his age know about, and I guess Kelly knew about it too. She's like, "Oh, I've played that game," and so they did like bond a little over that. And Maddox does great with other kids unless he's not in the mood for it.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's like very rude and straightforward
Yes.
and like, "Can I go? Are they about to leave? Do I have to talk to them?" And that's like with them sitting right there.
Bye.
Yeah, I don't like people, like I said.
You don't have to like them, but you will learn to be around them and how to interact with them because you're going to have to. Just like,
You will like some people. I think it's not necessarily that you don't like people. I think it's that you have a hard time feeling comfortable around other people sometimes.
yeah, what's up?
We had someone say that President Jefferson self-taught himself violin and a lot of other things.
That's cool. So there's a lot of people that can do that. They can like just listen to music and then recreate it or pick it up just by messing with an instrument. I am not one of those people. Maybe the drums if I play around with it long enough, but that would be the best I could do. So it's like there's a lot of people who are really good at things that are not necessarily something that you get taught in school. And unfortunately, I'm not dogging the school system. They can't help the way things are. It's just the way that it's been set up for them. The way it's been set up for them is they have to put people in a classroom most of the day, put kids in seats who are really energetic, and then try to teach them to pass a test that they got to take at the end of the year so the school can get more funding. And that's a terrible process.
Yes, that's the season we're in right now with school. It's like the end of the year. Kids are taking a bunch of tests. They took a bunch of practice tests before that, and like everything's geared towards that. So I've got the other end of the spectrum. So like River, he's in he's in public school, right? And he's very energetic. He's very social. Doesn't always mesh well with the environment that he's in, right? But I still want to like foster that independence in him appropriately, right? So like we've had struggles with that of being like, okay, I know that you want to talk, you want to socialize, you want to do all that. Like you can, you just got to do it at the appropriate places and times. And he just recently got a little bit more independence. He got a street legal scooter.
Yeah, I saw that's pretty sweet.
It's super sweet. So him and 3 other friends, they all have these street legal scooters, and they are like a little scooter gang. And 2 of his friends meet up every day at the house to all scooter together to the elementary school, and they park their scooters. I'm like, you guys need matching jackets. Yeah.
That's a Kaylin thing.
I
You
know.
need to get
I
on that.
I told her, I was like, girl, we're going to figure out, like, I asked him, I'm like, what's your scooter gang's name going to be? And he's like, Wild Hogs. And he's like, no, wait, Wild Boars. And I'm like, and we can make it like BORES. So it's kind of ironic, right? Like, Wild Boars. Like it. So yeah, we've got it, Kaylin. We got the name. We just need the jackets now.
That's pretty cool.
So independence, though,
Yes,
like
it is.
even if they're in public school, you can still like. There's
Sure.
right. Oh, there's a show right that's old enough. Have you guys seen this?
I have seen it on Netflix, and I'm super intrigued. I haven't watched it yet. I've seen it, and I'm super intrigued by it because I think it's very interesting. You know, me, I have a little bit of helicopter mom in me. I would be like, oh, I'm a 4-year-old going to the grocery store. No way.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like as long as it's safe, they are learning critical thinking, problem solving. Like one of the trailers was like this little 4-year-old boy. He's bringing his bag of groceries, home, and the bag breaks, and so all the groceries go everywhere. It's like, oh, now what do you do? So this little 4-year-old has to figure out what to do in order to get his groceries home. I didn't see the rest of it. It was just the trailer. So now I'm like intrigued. I want to know what the 4-year-old does to get home with all those groceries.
That's a whole nother Netflix show.
Turns to a cold case file.
It does make me a little nervous. I am like, am I going to be like, the whole time I'm watching it? But at the same time, I want to watch it and see because it's a cultural thing, right? It's like Chinese. Isn't China that, or is it Japan? I'm not
It's
sure.
an Asian country,
It is an Asian country. I'm not
but
sure
I'm
which
not
one.
sure which one. But I do think it's interesting though, and like
Hey, we can hear you, Maddox.
Sorry.
I know you were asking about the little hat on top of her microphone.
so I don't lose it. But yeah, just like the different. So like so like River having that scooter the other day, I needed some groceries. I'm like, hey, here's some money. Go scooter on over to the grocery store and pick up some milk and this, and he did, and like it was like these little doses of independence that we give them that like gives them those opportunities to use those different skills that they haven't
Yeah.
quite used yet.
I know.
And some kids, take it and run with it, like Jack. And some kids are like, please don't give me this, like Maddox. So like either way, you still have to push them to do those things, whether they're homeschooled or in public school, whether they're introverted or extroverted, whether they naturally are independent or not. You have to push them to do it, to
Yeah.
be independent.
Yeah, we've really had to do that with our girls.
Yeah,
Our-
they were probably a better example of not wanting to be independent than, well, at least Avery for sure.
Yeah, Carter has some of that too.
Yeah, but I just got back from a trip with Avery. She's living in Fayetteville.
No, she's doing much better than she was.
It was like hanging out with an adult. It was very awkward. It wasn't awkward because it was fine. I was very comfortable, but it was very weird because I'm like, I feel very much like I'm hanging out with a friend instead of a child at this point because I did not have to be the mom
Right.
while I was there. Like she's momming herself. So it was very, very different, very nice. Like, just
Yeah.
a different level of relationship with your kid.
Yeah, our girls, like, as I'm sure the boys have seen plenty of times, they like to practice learned helplessness. That if something like the smallest thing goes wrong, they're like, I can't do it. I don't know what to do. And they want someone to come fix it for them. And it was like Jack used to have to come fix a lot of things for Avery and Carter, usually bug related issues.
Yeah.
I still have to do that.
But it was like if they couldn't do it, they had to come find somebody else.
There's like a couple spiders in my room, and I'm not even scared of them.
I know,
No,
but
he's not
they
scared of those spiders.
but they freak out, and so they come and get you guys. But they've had a lot of things that they're growing up in a way that, like, when they try to practice that helplessness, we push back against them. And like, how are you going to fix it? What are you going to do? And now, then that's how like Avery has gotten more independent. Now
Yes.
that she has to, she can't come complain.
And
to
I
us
had to
anymore.
learn as a mom not to just be like, oh, okay, I'll do it for you. Because sometimes as a mom, especially like when that mom guilt comes into play, if I've been busy or something like that, I just want to do. And, sometimes, of course, that's okay to just do things for them. But if you can't just continue to just do things for them. You have to let them do it. And so for me personally, I have to be like, okay, they really need to do this themselves, or do I need to do it? And a lot of times I want to try to do it for them instead of allowing them to do it on their own.
It is kind of nice too, like when they start taking on those reins a little bit more, like with doctor's appointments or dentist appointments and stuff. I know that Carter drove herself to something recently, appointment of some sort. I had Piper call and make her own appointment for something recently. Like it's little stepping stones towards getting towards that independence and doing it like an adult,
Yep.
And at first she was like, "But you always do it," and I was like, "I know, but you're like, you're 18 now, so it's time to take them wheels, girl."
We do in our culture, we baby our kids way more than other cultures do. I mean, I'm not advocating for this, but there are cultures where people like Maddox's age are like, they're child soldiers, and they're basically running their own little organization of.
You went further than I was thinking. I was
I was
actually working, but that's work too.
that was pretty dramatic. I wasn't expecting child soldiers, but you're right. That is very drastic.
It is.
Maybe you need to make a Netflix.
Yes. Well, I'm sure there is a Netflix show about that. Be kind of interesting if they made it a comedy, but
Yo, Netflix, because you're watching, you know what to do.
so we know that we kind of do in our culture protect our kids a little bit more, but in the name of safety and development for part of it, and the other part of it because it's just kind of how we were raised and the way that it happened. So we know that you can raise an independent kid in whether they're going to school, not going to school, whatever the circumstances are. The whole thing is about giving them responsibility, encouraging them to find things that they enjoy, supporting those things by providing them the stuff they need to do the things that they enjoy, and then helping them to solve problems, and eventually helping them to learn to solve them on their own. And that's mostly what you need to do to raise an independent kid. And the best thing you can do is just provide the right type of environment that allows them to flourish and to do well for themselves. And to not have to look at that there has to be a specific path that you have to put someone on. So you don't have to put someone on the path of, well, they must go to school, they must go to college, they must do this. That's not necessary, and there's a lot more options out there than there used to be. So it's more about trying to find the right path that's right for your kid rather than just sticking them in a standard path. If you have that capability, not everybody does or has those resources, but there's little ways that you can work toward making your kid more independent.
Yes.
Well, boys, thank you very much for joining us. This is about the most I get to see you with my work hours, so I'm glad I got to see you.
We should have you guys back on, actually. This was really fun.
Yep.
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come be on our show all the time.
Yes, please.
No.
Oh, come on, Maddox. I want you over here on this side of the camera next time.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Now spare them that.
All right. Well, if you're needing any counseling services or, maybe just you have some things that are making it difficult for you to figure out how to raise an independent person in your home, we are happy to help. You can contact us at Affinity Counseling Services, AFFINITY, on Facebook. You can contact us from the Arkansas office at 870-324-5122 or our Missouri office at 573-840-0440 or reach us at counselingwithaffinity.com.
And you can find out information on how you can help break trauma cycles at alovelypause.com. And we have a new event coming up on June 5th. You can watch our Facebook page, A Lovely Pause, Pause, to find out more details and when that's coming up. We are going to be having a Texas Hold'em tournament with bingo and a silent auction. If you're interested in signing up for that, you can contact us on our website, or if you would like to donate to our silent auction, you can contact us at contact@alovelypause.com. Thanks.
Thank you, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.